Welcome to English Mindshift. Before you hear any rules, secrets, or lessons, let me ask you a powerful question. What would your life look like if nobody's opinion could control you anymore? Imagine walking into any room with calm power. Imagine speaking without fear. Imagine people feeling your presence before you even open your mouth. This is not arrogance. This is not loud ego. This is something deeper, stronger, and far more dangerous. It is real confidence. And today, you are going to learn how to build it step by step, slowly, naturally, and permanently. Most people think confidence is something you are born with. They believe confident people are just lucky, just gifted, just special. That belief is the first lie that keeps them weak. Confidence is not a gift. Confidence is a skill. Confidence is built. Confidence is trained. Confidence is earned through small actions done every day when nobody is watching. The people who look powerful today were once unsure, afraid, and insecure. The only difference is that they chose to grow while others chose to stay comfortable. This is your moment to choose differently. Secret 1. Stop seeking approval and start respecting yourself. The first and most powerful step toward building the kind of confidence that silently commands respect is to break free from the deep habit of seeking approval from everyone around you. Most people live as if they are on a stage every single day, performing a role instead of living their truth. They adjust their personality depending on who they are with. They agree even when they disagree. They smile even when they feel hurt. They laugh even when they do not find something funny. Over time, this constant acting becomes exhausting, but even worse, it slowly disconnects them from who they really are. When your life is controlled by the opinions of others, your emotional stability becomes fragile. Your mood rises when you receive praise and falls when you face criticism. Your confidence becomes dependent on validation, and your identity becomes something that others define for you. This is not strength. This is emotional dependence, and it quietly weakens your spirit every single day. Real confidence begins the moment you make a serious internal decision. Your self-respect is more valuable than anyone's approval. This decision does not turn you into a cold or selfish person. Instead, it turns you into an honest one. It means you start honoring your feelings instead of ignoring them. It means you learn to say no without guilt when something does not feel right to you. It means you express your thoughts calmly even if others disagree with you. It means you stop pretending to enjoy conversations, jokes, or situations that do not align with your values. At first, this shift feels uncomfortable because people are used to the old version of you, the version that always tried to please. Some may be surprised by your new boundaries. Some may test you. Some may even try to pull you back to your old behavior. But if you stay consistent, something powerful begins to happen. People start to sense your self-respect. Your words carry more weight. Your presence feels stronger. And even if not everyone accepts your change, something far more important happens. You begin to respect yourself. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to feel grounded in who you are. And from this deep foundation of self-respect, true and unshakable confidence is born. Secret 2. Control your body language before you control your words. Confidence is not only something you express with your voice, it is something you communicate silently long before you ever speak. People feel your presence first. They notice your posture, your movements, your eye contact, your breathing, and the overall energy you carry into a room. These small, often unconscious details send powerful messages. Weak body language quietly says, "I am unsure. I do not belong here." Or, "Please accept me." Strong body language, on the other hand, sends a completely different message. It says, "I am calm, I am grounded, and I belong here." Long before people judge your words, they judge your energy. And that energy is shaped by how you carry yourself. The truth is, your body and your mind are deeply connected. If your body constantly looks nervous, tense, or closed off, your mind begins to believe that you are weak or unsafe. But when you begin to change the way you use your body, you begin to change the way you feel about yourself. This transformation starts with very simple habits. Stand straight with your spine tall, not stiff, but strong. Keep your shoulders relaxed and open instead of pulled forward. Walk with steady, unhurried steps instead of rushing as if you are afraid of being seen. Lift your head when you walk. Look forward instead of down at the ground. Make eye contact when you listen and when you speak, not in a forced way, but in a calm and natural way. These small actions may feel uncomfortable in the beginning because your old habits are still strong. But every time you practice them, you are sending a powerful signal to your brain. I am in control. I am safe. I am confident. Over time, your brain begins to accept this message as truth. What starts as physical practice slowly becomes internal belief. Your confidence stops being something you try to show and starts becoming something you naturally feel. People around you may not be able to explain it, but they will sense the difference. They will notice that you feel more grounded. They will notice that your presence feels stronger. They will notice that you seem calm without trying too hard. This is how intimidating confidence is born, not through loud words, but through silent control of your body, your energy, and your presence. Secret 3. Become comfortable with silence. Most insecure people are deeply uncomfortable with silence. They feel an invisible pressure to fill every quiet moment with words. They talk too much. They explain too much. They laugh too quickly. They answer questions before fully thinking. They interrupt their own thoughts just to avoid an awkward pause. This behavior does not come from confidence. It comes from fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear that others will think they are boring, unintelligent, or socially awkward. So they use words as a shield, hoping that constant talking will protect their image. But the opposite happens. The more you talk unnecessarily, the less powerful your words become. Confident people understand something very different about communication. They know that silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Silence is presence. Silence is power. They do not rush to impress others with endless talking. They are calm in conversations. They listen deeply. They allow pauses to exist without feeling nervous. And when they finally speak, their words carry weight because they are thoughtful, measured, and intentional. Silence naturally attracts attention. When you are comfortable with quiet moments, people begin to lean in. They begin to listen more carefully. They begin to take your presence more seriously. Silence creates mystery. It creates depth. It creates an unspoken authority that loud people never develop. Learning to be comfortable with silence is a skill that takes practice. Start by pausing for a few seconds before responding in conversations. Let your mind process the words instead of reacting instantly. Practice listening fully instead of planning your next sentence while others are speaking. Allow moments of quiet without trying to fill them. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Your mind will urge you to speak just to escape the silence. But if you stay calm, you will notice something powerful. People begin to respect your presence more. This one habit alone can dramatically change how others perceive you, because calm silence is one of the strongest signs of inner confidence. Secret 4. Build discipline in private. True confidence is never built on stage. It is built behind the scenes. It is built in the quiet moments of your life when nobody is watching, nobody is clapping, and nobody is praising you. Most people try to look confident in public, but they live undisciplined lives in private. This creates a weak foundation. Real confidence comes from knowing deep inside that you are someone who keeps promises to yourself. That inner knowledge becomes unshakable power. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It is built when you wake up early, even when you feel tired. It is built when you study, even when motivation is low. It is built when you exercise, even when comfort is tempting. Every time you choose the difficult path over the easy one, your self-trust grows. Your mind begins to register a powerful message. I can rely on myself. And when you trust yourself, confidence grows naturally. When you say you will study and you actually study, something changes inside you. When you say you will improve and you take real action, your identity begins to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who only dreams, and you start seeing yourself as someone who acts. This shift is invisible to others at first, but it is deeply felt within you. And over time, that inner change becomes visible. It appears in your eyes. It appears in your voice. It appears in your posture. People may not know your routines, but they will sense your strength. They will feel that you are different, grounded, and mentally strong. That is the quiet power of discipline, and it is one of the strongest foundations of terrifying confidence. Secret 5. Detach from outcomes. Many people struggle with confidence not because they lack ability, but because they are emotionally chained to results. They become obsessed with what will happen. They worry about being rejected. They fear looking foolish. They fear failing publicly. This fear quietly controls their behavior. It stops them from raising their hand. It stops them from speaking their truth. It stops them from trying new things. It keeps them playing small, living safely, and hiding their potential. When your confidence depends on outcomes, it becomes fragile. One bad experience can destroy your courage. One rejection can silence your voice. One mistake can make you doubt yourself for weeks. Confident people live by a different rule. They focus on effort, not outcome. They understand that they cannot control everything, but they can always control their actions. They know that rejection is not a measure of their value. It is simply feedback. They know that failure is not proof that they are weak. It is proof that they are trying. This mindset creates freedom. When you stop attaching your self-worth to results, you become bold. You start speaking honestly because you are no longer terrified of being disliked. You start taking risks because you are no longer paralyzed by the possibility of failure. You begin to act from truth instead of fear. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting outcomes define you. You still give your best effort. You still work hard. You still aim high. But emotionally, You remain calm whether you win or lose. This emotional stability is rare, and that is why it is powerful. People can feel when someone is not desperate for approval. They sense when someone is not controlled by praise or criticism. That energy feels strong. It feels grounded. It feels intimidating in a quiet way. When you detach from outcomes, you move through life with a calm confidence that cannot be shaken easily. You try more. You learn faster. You grow stronger. And over time, this fearless consistency naturally leads to better outcomes anyway, not because you chase them desperately, but because you showed up fully without fear. Secret 6. Master your inner voice. The most powerful voice in your life is not the voice of your parents, your friends, or your critics. It is the voice inside your own mind. That voice speaks to you every day, in every moment. And for many people, that voice is not kind. It is harsh. It is critical. It repeats painful messages. You are not good enough. You always fail. You look foolish. Others are better than you. Over time, these thoughts become beliefs. And once they become beliefs, they shape behavior. You hesitate more. You doubt yourself more. You hold back more. Not because you are incapable, but because your inner voice has convinced you that you are. Confident people do not silence their inner voice. They train it. They turn it from an enemy into an ally. They understand that the mind needs direction, just like the body. Instead of allowing negative thoughts to run freely, they consciously reshape their self-talk. When something is difficult, they do not say, "I can't do this." They say, "This is challenging, but I am learning." When they make a mistake, they do not say, "I am a failure." They say, "This is feedback, and I will improve." When they feel slow progress, they do not say, "I am stuck." They say, "Growth takes time, and I am moving forward." This is not fake positivity. This is mental discipline. Your mind listens to repetition. The thoughts you repeat most often become the identity you live through. When you consistently speak to yourself with respect, encouragement, and honesty, your self-image begins to shift. You start seeing yourself as capable. You start seeing yourself as resilient. You start seeing yourself as someone who can handle challenges. And when that identity forms, your behavior naturally changes. You take more action. You hesitate less. You recover faster from setbacks. Your confidence grows from the inside, not because you are pretending to be strong, but because you are becoming strong mentally. Mastering your inner voice is a daily practice. It requires awareness. It requires patience. But its impact is life-changing. When your mind becomes your coach instead of your enemy, you become unstoppable. You move through the world with a quiet belief in yourself. Your energy becomes stable. Your presence becomes stronger. People begin to feel that you are grounded, centered, and mentally tough. And that kind of inner strength is one of the most powerful forms of confidence you can ever develop. Secret 7. Stop explaining yourself too much. One of the clearest signs of insecurity is the constant need to explain, justify, and defend every choice you make. Many people feel uncomfortable simply making a decision and standing by it. They apologize too often, even when they have done nothing wrong. They add long explanations to simple answers because they are afraid of being judged. They seek permission instead of trusting their own judgment. Behind all of this behavior is one quiet fear: the fear of being misunderstood or disliked. So they try to control how others see them by talking more, explaining more, and pleasing more. But this habit does not build respect. It weakens your presence. When you constantly justify yourself, you silently communicate that you do not fully trust your own choices. Confident people move differently. They make decisions calmly and they stand by them without drama. They do not feel the need to convince everyone that they are right. They do not waste their energy trying to prove their worth. They understand that not everyone needs to agree with them, and that is perfectly okay. Their confidence does not come from winning every argument. It comes from inner certainty. This does not mean they are stubborn or close-minded. It means they are grounded. They listen to others, but they are not controlled by others. They consider advice, but they do not surrender their self-trust. When you choose something, choose it fully. When you say no, say it politely but firmly. You do not need a long speech to support your boundary. A calm, "No, this does not work for me," is enough. When you make a mistake, own it without creating a story around it. You do not need to panic. You do not need to over-explain. You simply take responsibility and move forward. This kind of calm behavior creates a strong impression. People begin to see you as emotionally stable. They begin to take your words seriously. They begin to trust your decisions because you trust them yourself. The message you send without speaking is powerful. I am comfortable with who I am. And that comfort is the foundation of real confidence. Secret 8. Embrace your flaws instead of hiding them. Many people believe that confidence belongs only to those who appear perfect. They think confident people never make mistakes, never feel insecure, never struggle. This belief creates pressure. People begin to hide their true selves. They hide their weaknesses. They hide their doubts. They hide their past. They create a mask, hoping that if nobody sees their flaws, they will be accepted. But living behind a mask is exhausting. It creates fear. Fear of being exposed. Fear of being judged. Fear of being rejected. And fear is the enemy of confidence. Confident people understand something much deeper. They are not perfect, and they do not need to be. They accept their humanity. They accept that they have weaknesses. They accept that they have made mistakes. They accept that they are still learning. Instead of fighting their imperfections, they embrace them with honesty. This acceptance creates freedom. When you stop trying to hide who you are, you stop living in fear. You stop worrying about being discovered because there is nothing to hide. You become lighter. You become more relaxed. You become more real. When you embrace your flaws, you give yourself permission to grow. You can admit when you do not understand something. You can ask questions without feeling ashamed. You can laugh at your own mistakes instead of being destroyed by them. You can share your experiences without pretending to be flawless. This honesty creates connection. People feel comfortable around you because they sense your authenticity. They trust you because you are real. They respect you because you are honest. And sometimes, they feel intimidated by you because they are still pretending while you are not. Authenticity is one of the rarest forms of confidence in today's world. Most people are hiding. Most people are performing. Most people are afraid to be seen as they truly are. When you choose to be real, when you choose to accept yourself fully, you stand out. Your confidence becomes natural, not forced. Your presence becomes calm, not desperate. Your energy becomes powerful, not noisy. And that is the kind of confidence that people feel deeply, even if they cannot explain why. Secret 9. Reduce your emotional reactivity. One of the quiet killers of confidence is uncontrolled emotional reactivity. People with weak confidence react to nearly everything around them. A small criticism feels like an attack. A disagreement feels like a personal rejection. A moment of silence or hesitation is interpreted as judgment. Every word, action, or glance from others is magnified in the mind, creating anxiety, doubt, and insecurity. This constant emotional turbulence makes people appear unstable, indecisive, or desperate for approval. Over time, the brain begins to expect these emotional storms, and the habit of reacting impulsively becomes automatic. This is why emotional reactivity is so dangerous. It quietly erodes confidence from the inside, often without anyone noticing, even yourself. True confidence, however, is calm and measured. Confident people are not emotionless, but they are emotionally stable. They feel emotions without being controlled by them. They listen first. They process what is happening internally. They respond thoughtfully, not impulsively. When someone criticizes them, they do not collapse or retaliate immediately. Instead, they analyze the feedback objectively. Is there something useful here to learn, or is this criticism irrelevant? If it is useful, they learn and adjust. If it is not, they let it go. This ability to control your responses, rather than letting circumstances control you, is a powerful marker of inner strength. Reducing emotional reactivity requires practice. Begin by pausing before responding to anything that triggers you emotionally. Take a deep breath. Observe your initial reaction, and then decide how you want to respond. Over time, this small habit trains your mind to respond with intention instead of instinct. When you practice this consistently, people around you begin to notice your calmness. You do not get caught up in gossip, drama, or panic. You remain steady in a world full of chaos, which naturally makes others respect you. There is a subtle, quiet intimidation in someone who remains unshaken while others react emotionally. People sense strength and stability, and that creates a magnetic presence. The more you reduce emotional reactivity, the more grounded and unshakable your confidence becomes. Secret 10. Focus on growth, not comparison. Comparison is one of the deadliest enemies of confidence. When your self-worth depends on being better than someone else, it will always feel fragile. There will always be someone smarter, richer, more attractive, more skilled, or more successful than you. The moment someone surpasses you, confidence built on comparison crumbles. Most people are trapped in this endless cycle. They measure themselves against others, feel temporarily good when ahead, and devastated when behind. It is a treadmill that leads nowhere, exhausting the mind and weakening self-belief. Confident people approach life differently. They compete only with themselves. Their focus is on daily growth and improvement, not on outperforming someone else. They ask a simple question every day. Am I better than I was yesterday? This internal benchmark is powerful because it is under your control. It eliminates unnecessary fear of judgment, envy, or inadequacy. When your growth is measured against your own past performance, you are free to evolve at your own pace. Each small win becomes a building block for long-term confidence because it is rooted in reality, not illusion. This mindset also creates lasting motivation. External validation is unpredictable. Comparison is never-ending. but personal growth is measurable, consistent, and sustainable. As you track your progress, no one can take away your achievements. Every skill learned, every fear faced, and every improvement reinforces your identity as someone capable and growing. Over time, this creates a deep, unshakable sense of self-belief. Unlike confidence built on social approval, this type of confidence remains stable even when faced with people who are more successful, more talented, or more accomplished. Focusing on growth rather than comparison also shifts your energy from envy to empowerment. Instead of feeling threatened by someone else's success, you feel inspired to do better for yourself. This keeps your mindset productive rather than destructive. Your confidence becomes intrinsic. It is no longer fragile, conditional, or reactive. It is grounded in your personal journey. And when confidence is built on real growth instead of external comparison, it radiates naturally, quietly, and powerfully, commanding respect without effort. Secret 11. Develop competence in something meaningful. Confidence without real competence is fragile. Many people try to appear confident by dressing well, speaking loudly, or using aggressive body language. But without skill or knowledge to back it up, their confidence is shallow and temporary. Real confidence comes from knowing deep within yourself that you are capable. It grows when you become genuinely skilled in something valuable, something that matters. Whether it is communication, leadership, writing, business, teaching, fitness, or any other skill, mastery builds a quiet, unshakable assurance that cannot be taken away by opinion or circumstance. This kind of confidence is different from performance. It does not need constant approval or validation because it is grounded in reality. Developing competence requires deliberate effort. It is not enough to casually learn or practice. You must study deeply, practice consistently, and improve intentionally. Every hour you spend refining your skills strengthens your identity as a capable person. It teaches your mind that you are reliable, capable, and competent. Over time, this creates a transformation that is invisible at first, but undeniable to those who observe you. Your thoughts become sharper. Your decisions become clearer. Your presence carries weight because it is backed by real ability. People begin to sense your competence even without a word being spoken. They notice the calm assurance in your voice, the clarity in your thinking, and the effectiveness of your actions. The beauty of this kind of confidence is that it is quiet, but powerful. You no longer need to boast, argue, or assert yourself to prove your worth. Your skill and competence speak for themselves. Every step of deliberate learning, every challenge faced, and every small victory adds to your internal foundation. This disciplined growth ensures that your confidence is not built on image, luck, or external validation. Instead, it is built on results, ability, and self-mastery. When you invest in meaningful skills, you are no longer pretending to be confident. You are genuinely becoming confident, and that is a type of power that silently commands respect. Secret 12. Walk alone when necessary. Some of the most important growth in life happens in solitude. When you are changing, learning, and leveling up, not everyone will understand your journey. Friends, family, or colleagues may feel uncomfortable with your progress. Some may even try to pull you back into old patterns, habits, or behaviors because your growth challenges their comfort zones. Confident people understand this reality and are willing to walk alone if it means staying true to their path. Walking alone does not mean being lonely. It means prioritizing your growth over approval or acceptance. This solitude is not a weakness. It is a form of strength. It shows that you value your personal development more than social comfort. When you walk alone, you reinforce your independence and self-respect. You make decisions based on your principles, not the expectations of others. You create space for introspection, reflection, and intentional action. Over time, this independence attracts the right people. Those who respect your boundaries, admire your discipline, and align with your vision. The relationships you form become stronger, healthier, and more meaningful because they are based on mutual respect rather than neediness. Walking alone also creates an aura of mystery and depth. When people see someone who is not desperate for attention, someone who does not need constant approval, they are naturally drawn to that presence. Independence communicates that your value does not depend on external validation. It signals that you are grounded, focused, and self-reliant. Confident people often do not need to speak to be noticed. Their quiet strength and self-possession are enough to leave an impression. Choosing solitude when necessary is not about being isolated. It is about being disciplined, self-respecting, and aligned with your higher purpose. This type of confidence, built in independence and intentional solitude, radiates powerfully and is deeply intimidating to those who rely on social approval to feel strong. Secret 13. Act even when you feel insecure. Many people believe that confidence means never feeling fear or doubt. This is a myth. Even the most confident individuals feel nervous, anxious, or unsure at times. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. It is choosing to move forward even when your mind screams that you are not ready. The truly confident do not wait to feel secure before they act. They understand that waiting for perfect conditions, complete certainty, or total comfort is a trap. If you only act when you feel fully confident, you may never act at all. True power comes from doing what you need to do, even when you are scared, uncertain, or uncomfortable. Every time you act despite discomfort, something remarkable happens inside you. Your courage grows. You begin to prove to yourself that fear is not stronger than your will. Nervousness stops being a signal to retreat and becomes a signal that you are about to grow. When you speak up in a meeting, even though your heart races. When you try a new skill, even though you fear failure. When you take a risk, even though the outcome is unknown. You are building resilience and strength in small, consistent steps. Each action reinforces the belief that you are capable of more than your mind initially allows. Slowly, these repeated choices begin to change your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone brave, someone willing to face challenges, discomfort, and criticism without being paralyzed by them. Over time, the results are transformative. What once felt terrifying gradually becomes manageable. Your internal sense of fear diminishes not because you stop feeling it, but because you have repeatedly chosen action over hesitation. Others begin to notice your calm presence in high-pressure situations. They see that you are willing to take the first step, to speak your mind, and to act when others freeze. This is the kind of quiet, intimidating confidence that naturally draws respect. Acting in spite of insecurity creates a feedback loop. Action builds courage. Courage strengthens identity, and a strong identity fuels more confident action. In this way, fear becomes a tool, not a barrier, a signal that you are stretching, growing, and evolving. Secret 14. Create a strong daily identity. Confidence is not a single event. It is not born from one speech, one victory, or one moment of recognition. True confidence is created silently, gradually, in the sum of daily habits and choices. The life you live every day determines the person you become. If your days are filled with procrastination, avoidance, negativity, and wasted energy, your confidence will erode. If you spend your time reacting rather than acting, your mind will reinforce the belief that you are powerless. Confidence is not magical. It is the result of deliberate, consistent, and disciplined daily action. A strong daily identity begins with small but meaningful choices. Wake up with purpose. Set intentions for the day. Engage your mind with learning, reading, or skill building. Move your body with exercise or activity that challenges you. Control your thoughts instead of letting negative, self-critical, or anxious thinking dominate. These actions may seem insignificant individually, but their cumulative effect is profound. Each positive choice reinforces your identity as someone disciplined, capable, and evolving. Each intentional action is like a brick laid in the foundation of your self-image. Slowly, you begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who drifts through life, but as someone who moves deliberately, grows consistently, and creates their own future. Over time, this disciplined consistency reshapes your self-image. You stop identifying as ordinary, reactive, or passive. You start identifying as someone who is strong, capable, and steadily improving. Confidence no longer depends on external validation because it is rooted in your internal reality. Every day, your habits send a clear message to your brain. I am responsible. I am capable. I am becoming stronger. This identity, built quietly and consistently in private, eventually becomes visible in your posture, voice, and presence. Others sense it immediately. They recognize someone grounded, reliable, and self-assured. By committing to a strong daily identity, you create a foundation for confidence that is stable, lasting, and unshakable, regardless of external circumstances. Secret 15. Stop trying to look confident and start becoming confident. Many people make the mistake of trying to appear confident without truly developing it. They mimic behaviors they see in others, standing tall, speaking loudly, making bold gestures. But this is only performance. Confidence that is performed is shallow and inconsistent. People can sense it immediately because it lacks depth. There is a difference between someone who acts confident and someone who is confident. Real confidence is quiet, grounded, and effortless. It does not need to be showcased. It does not demand attention. It does not bend to the approval of others. The key is to focus on becoming confident rather than looking confident. Becoming confident requires internal work, developing self-respect, building competence, mastering your mind, and practicing discipline. It means investing in yourself when nobody is watching. It means holding yourself accountable for your actions and choices. It means embracing discomfort and growth in private. Over time, these repeated actions transform your identity. Confidence stops being an act and becomes a natural part of who you are. When you focus on becoming rather than performing, your presence begins to shift. You no longer need to prove yourself. People sense your inner strength through subtle cues, the calmness of your voice, the steadiness of your gaze, the intentionality of your movements. This quiet assurance is far more powerful than any loud display because it is authentic and rooted in real ability and self-trust. Conclusion: the confidence that terrifies people is built, not shown. The kind of confidence that quietly intimidates others is not loud, aggressive, or arrogant. It is calm, steady, and deeply rooted in self-trust, discipline, and authenticity. It belongs to someone who knows their worth, respects themselves, and is not controlled by fear, approval, or the opinions of others. This confidence is not about scaring people. It is about being so grounded in yourself that your presence becomes undeniable. People will notice. Some will admire you. Some may feel uncomfortable. Some may feel challenged. That is not your concern. Your concern is your growth. Building this kind of confidence does not happen overnight. You do not need to be perfect immediately. You only need to start. Start with self-respect. Start with discipline. Start with awareness. Start with small daily actions that reinforce your identity. Over time, these actions will accumulate. Your posture will become stronger. Your voice will carry steadiness. Your energy will radiate calm assurance. People will respond to you differently, not because you tried to impress them, but because you became someone who cannot be ignored. The goal is not to terrify others, but to become unshakable in your own presence. That is real confidence. And that kind of power is within your reach, if you commit to building it from the inside out.